Hello.
Hey,
How you going?
good. I have a bed right over there, but I wasn't sure what we're doing. So,
Yeah, no worries. So, yeah, thanks for coming and taking the leap of faith into the galactic. Just wanted to see if you have had many connections with any extraterrestrial beings or channelings or anything like that in the past.
personally, no. I mean, some orbs have showed up in my life a number of times, but no communication
Yeah.
um, that I'm aware of. Some weird dreams, but nothing that I even remember. so, so I haven't channeled or I've had some a past life regression thing, but I was really uncomfortable during that session. My feet were in pain actually, just from
Mm,
something else I was doing. So it was really interrupting my focus.
mm.
So yeah, not much experience personally, at least.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so Pete and I, we're husband and wife, and we had our awakening 3 years ago. We're always in mindfulness, and Pete taught the brain rhythms, the alpha state, the gamma state, and connecting in with that, but not going deep into like the healing depth of cleaning the density, elevating the frequency for ascension type of thing. But that's when we had the real awakening. We went to Costa Rica and did medicine at Rhythmia, and that was just so profound. And so on the way home, the ET started popping in for us, and it was just like coming and coming, and we were going, oh my god, is this real? Like, this is crazy. We've gone from the 3D straight into the galactic, and we could handle it, but at the time it was very overwhelming, and moving through those fears of if aliens are even existence and all of that. So slowly but surely we built up our strength and confidence and connection and overcome our fears, and we've started to connect with the Galactic Federation ship that's here to help us. It's a huge ship. It's the size of like a football field. It's like got thousands of beings upon it, and there's all different species. Okay, so they're anywhere from high 5Ds in terms of frequency up through to non-physical beings as well. So a lot of visitors are coming in and out of the ship. There's many ships around the earth at this time. So when we started connecting, it was the pleiadians that were connecting with us, and they told us that that was going to just kind of happen because they're most like us, and we're from the Pleiades as well, Pete and I. So they could walk down the street and we would think it's a human being, right? So it was like most familiar to us that we would connect with them first. And then they started showing us the technology on the ship. And, I thought med beds is a cheat way, around in your awakening healing journey. At the beginning when they were showing me, I'm like, what's this med bed stuff? Like, is it a cheat way to get to the ascension? Do you know what I mean? Like, I thought we had to do the inner work and all of that. So slowly but surely they started leading us, and teaching us it's a frequency upgrader. We communicate with you telepathically, start bringing people up, and elevate their being. So now when I'm up there, I can see it like X-ray vision into your field, and it'll show me if there's any density in organs or energy centers, and then they'll be communicating with me. So the idea is to, of course, take off the emotional layers, navigate to where that kind of intense emotion started. And I know you've done a fair bit of work, so I'm sure it'll be a great session. But the idea is to navigate, find the weed or the seed where the energy flow began, pull that out together with your higher self. It's a collaboration between all of us, of course. We're guiding the session, and then they'll induce the frequency into that part of the vessel with the medbed technology. There's also other technologies in the room. There's pods, there's other profound stuff. So we'll see if they bring or incorporate anything else into the session for you today. And we often have visitors come in the session. So your star family, your soul family might rock up. So it just depends on what happens. It's always different. Okay. So that's a little backstory as to how the heck we even got here.
Yeah. Yeah, that all sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that all sound, yeah, I'm in alignment with that.
Yeah.
So cool. So what are we doing from here? And yeah, thank you for explaining that.
Yeah, I just wanted you to have an understanding because it's yeah, it's important. We like to make sure that the person knows what they're doing, what the why, and all the rest of it. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll connect in with your heart. I'll turn down the cameras. You can lay down and just fully just open up your heart and relax to the session. I'll connect in and I'll open up a field and we'll take your light body to the quantum field. We'll move through a stargate directly into the ship, into the vibration room, and we'll arrive and you might have the sensations. I get the feeling you're going to today. You're going to feel the sensations of the different frequency beings. I'll be beside you the whole time. The pleiadians will help us, navigate through the session. And so, yeah, we'll go through that. And then at the end, we'll do an activation on your DNA and we can tap into what you've been up to in the galactic, the akashic records, like if you're a pleiadian or octarian or what you've been doing, your journey.
Okay. So should I go lay down right now?
Yeah. So we'll get started, hey? So I'm going to turn off the light. So just get fully relaxed. Are you all good?
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions?
No, should we? I don't know what we're doing. So I'm just letting you guide. I'm yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. You're excited for a new experience?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, no worries. Well, I'll see you at the end. I'm going to turn my camera and my lights off and I'll get into a meditative state and start connecting in with you, okay? All righty. So we're just going to start with some breathing. So the ascension breath. Oh.
There's a washer and dryer down here making noise, so just wanted to. All right. I'm good now.
You can hear me okay?
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so just breathing in through the nose, down into the stomach. We're going to do 3 laps of the ascension breath today. So breathing in now, inflating the stomach and exhaling. And again, breathing in through the nose, inflating the stomach and releasing, letting go. Good. And just one last one to calm the nervous system. Letting go. Good. So just focusing in on your body now, connecting in with your beautiful vessel, your human vessel, connecting your consciousness together, coming into the chest, feeling your heart. If you need to open the doors to your heart, opening them now. And just taking a moment to honor who you are, honor the journey you've come on, and sending some love energy to your soul, your higher self. Beautiful. So I can feel that you're open and ready. So we'll connect in now. Calling upon the higher self of Ra. Calling upon my higher self, Roxanne. Calling upon the divine source energy, creator of all. Connecting in for this journey of love, for bliss, for elevation of consciousness, for the highest and the greatest good of Ra and Roxanne. And now calling upon the Ascended Masters and the Archangels, welcoming through the portal to connect with us, and also the galactic team, the high frequency beings. We ask for your guidance and your protection in this journey for the highest and the greatest good of Ra and myself, Roxanne. Okay. So we've got a good connection. So we're going to now move through to the quantum field. And through the Stargate in 3, 2, 1. And here we go. We're just arriving into the vibration room on the ship. So you're on my right, your light body. Ahead of us is the med bed. There's all technology in the room. Can you feel or see anything in the room?
Not clearly. I'm imagining. I don't know if I'm imagining or if I'm seeing a room, but what you just described, I'm locked in on.
Yep.
I'm on your right. We're in a room. There's a bed in the middle of the room.
Yep. Beautiful. Okay. So I'm just going to tune into the beings in the room now. So we've got Eskil here. He's the Pleiadian. He is working with the technology, and the technology is coming from the Octerius star system. We've got a couple of the female beings here. Flora is a Pleiadian, and Sharada. There's also some Andromedan beings hanging at the back there. They're just holding space for you. They're actually clapping their hands in congratulations for you and all of the work that you've been doing, and all of the souls that you've been touching. They're coming through as star family. So they're one higher than, say, soul family or oversoul family. They're very angelic looking. They look like they're ninth dimensional beings. They're coming through non-physical. Okay. So Eskil's going to move your light body now into the med bed. And the lid's shutting. Okay, so they're starting it up. So the plasma is going to scan every cell in the body. It's blue plasma, and it's charged from the cosmos. Okay, so this technology is available to us on the ship. Everyone can access it, not just me or you. Everyone has the opportunity to come here. The frequency at this point is available here in the ship. The technology is not open to the public on the planet just at this stage. We've got to sort a few bits and pieces out with our consciousness. So the medbed's going to scan every cell and every organ, and it's going to show up where we need to head to, if anything that we do need to clear. Okay, so just lay there and relax. The scan's starting now. It's going over your forehead. Okay. So while that's continuing, Eskil's just attuning some information to me. So he's saying that your crown is nice and open, but there's this urge for a higher level of awareness or connection that you've been searching for recently. Seems to be that there's like this kind of, you've come to this level, and then there's like, okay, what's next? Have you been feeling that urge lately?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a really good thing. So we're just going to dive into the crown. There seems to be a little bit of density on the right side of the brain. The left side of the brain looks like it's thinking a lot, but the right side of the brain wants to like start to share the energy through to the left brain. So it's like working in synchronicity. At the moment, there seems to be, he's saying to me, it's like some sort of circuitry. It's not working like in synchronicity, the brain neurons. So let's just go in a little bit deeper. This could be the reason why there's a little bit of a kind of like a halt on the elevation to the next level, because your crown's nice and open. The intention to connect to source is really vibrant, and there's like a glimmer of violet light showing in your crown. So that's an elevated being. However, we just need to see if we can help elevate you even further. Okay. All right. So we're going into the age of 3 years of age. He's bringing me to at 3. Okay. So I'm hearing the words control with your parents, some sort of control at the age of 3. Okay, so there seems to be like a little bit of a block in your throat as well. So what we're looking for here to correct is heart-brain coherence, okay? So where the heart, the brain and the heart are connected for heart-brain coherence, which I know you know about, there seems to be just a tiny little thread of energy that seems to be not connected in the throat. Did you feel like you couldn't speak your truth as a child? What's the age of 3 with parents coming up?
I'm not sure about 3. I do know I started playing hockey at 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And ice hockey, and that pretty much shifted my entire reality. My entire reality centered around hockey for the next 20 years. And that was a lot of like ignoring my fear and doing things I didn't want to do, dealing with pain. I have always felt a little timid, shy, kind of scared with speaking. I don't. I would say I do have memories of my mother, constantly, and my father telling me things, weren't good enough or weren't right. I don't know. I don't have memories of 3 though, of where I do have some later on in life. I mean, I definitely remember not wanting to play hockey. My first time they ever dressed me up, and they just kind of told me that's what I was going to do. And then I learned to fall in love with the sport. But I do also remember kindergarten, or preschool, actually, stay at preschool, which I think I was 3.
Yeah.
I remember crying so much because my mom leave me in the school. So I do have that like really big memory of, it was so traumatic for me to have my, just the state of school just being leather. So, I mean, I remember the look in her eyes. I remember just having to stay there.
So this is all connecting. They gave me 7 years of age is where you became conscious of everything, but the seed was planted at 3. So that would make sense where they made you do this the hockey. But for you, I can see that your soul is like this wise soul. It's come through all these different star systems. It had all these different experiences, and it's come back to Earth to help elevate the planet. But from a young age, you were put into kind of this sport, whereas your soul is such a delicate soul. So like a sponge emotionally, you'd draw everything in, negative and positive. And it's like all of this is stored deep in your heart. And it's a fear of being controlled. That's what the energy pattern is. So there's a belief in the subconscious mind, which I can see is like you don't have a voice because of this trauma from this age. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to disconnect the false belief from the subconscious mind, but we just need to go back to the 3-year-old boy and go to the kindergarten and then go to the hockey and just go merge yourself back with your soul, because I can see there's a fractured part of the soul that's missing in this timeline today. So on the multidimensional level, sometimes when the pain is so strong for us warriors that come back in, you got to think before we came in, we were so high frequency, then we get dropped into such low density with the veil of forgetfulness, and then everything's just like so traumatizing because we're so delicate, right? So it goes deeper than your average person. So then your soul will have a little fracture out and go off and stay in that timeline because it's like a split from the soul. So we're just going to go back to these moments, and I want you to just bring yourself up in your mind's eye and go over to the little boy at 3. We'll do the hockey first. So I want you to go to where they were trying to get you dressed up and you didn't really feel like you wanted to do that. Just navigate yourself back to that moment. And see if you can have a cuddle with the little boy. Bring him in. Is there any hesitancy, or did he come in?
No hesitancy for here.
Oh, so was that all good? Sorry.
Yeah, I said we're here.
Yeah, beautiful. And just talk to him and let him know that you love him and you're going to look after him no matter what. He doesn't need to feel scared anymore. He's free. Okay, so the ETs are just working in the hologram to bring the soul back in for that fracture. It's just, you might feel some pressure on your chest.
Yeah, I feel stuff happening.
Okay, so I can see he's showing me, Eskel's showing me your heart. Okay, so the heart has been wrapped up with like cotton that you would, like wool that you would sew with. So energetically, we've got this heart wall around your heart that you created energetically to protect your delicate heart, right? So it's not like we need a full reconstruction. It's really good. It's just like we need a tune up, right? So it's really positive that it's a soft wool because it's easier to clear the wall, if that makes sense. Okay, so now we're going to navigate to the little kindergarten center. The fear of mum leaving. Just navigate yourself down in there. And see if the little boy will come in for a cuddle. Okay. He's coming in.
Yeah.
So he's anxious, right? So the nervous system's actually been they're showing me the nervous system, it's lighting up right now. So, okay, so we've got the subconscious program of fear of what's going to happen next. So whenever there's some change or someone leaves, there's a fear of the unknown, which we want to release that emotion. So this little boy, this is where the seed was planted. So the reason is just an emotion that we have to clear and transmute. We can always transmute it. They're just emotions. They're not the real soul. It's just an experience. But there seems to be a negative energy moving down the back of the vagus nerve from the subconscious mind Okay, the vagus nerve is the highway of emotions, negative and positive. If negative, they go through the major organs and have an effect on the organ and the operating system. So what they're showing me and telling me is that this negative energy charge is going down through the heart. It used to sit in the lungs, but you've become really good with the lungs now. You've cleared some of the grief naturally, but I can see in the nervous system there's a tune-up to be had. Okay, so we're going to break the negative energy pattern. They're also going to bring that fractured soul in from that age. So you might feel some tingling on the back of your head. Okay, and they're also cleaning out the vagus nerve now too. It's gone down to the root, the lower back. Do you ever have issues with your lower back?
Yes. Yeah, all the time if I exercise.
Yeah.
I just assume it was muscle imbalances, but I do have lower back problems that I shouldn't have.
Yes. So what I can see is it's energetic and it's causing pain because of the foundation. So when we don't feel safe, the foundations aren't secure. So what we want to do is release the fear around not feeling safe. So in your home, when you were getting projected on, it's all gone into your heart and it sent you a signal that you're not safe and that you can't trust. There's just a thread of it, but it's made you go quiet. So that's why the throat chakra is dull, okay? And there's a little block there. And then the root chakra, I can see at the back there, the kundalini wants to rise, but it doesn't feel safe to. So there's an elevation block there with the kundalini, okay? It's just important that you have the knowing and the why from the emotional perspective as well before we do the work, okay? So do you understand all of that?
That all seems very accurate of what I feel.
Yeah. So just want you to feel into that, feeling that projection from mum and dad in the home. And because you're so delicate, it's a beautiful thing. It means that you're going to be able to connect really, really well and have beautiful channelings come through and connection to other beings. It's like just the beginning for you. But we need to undo some of this density to be able to reach those higher levels. Okay. So I want you to go back and feel how you felt as a child. I can see that you went shy and quiet. There was also like a little bit of walking on eggshells, like making sure that you quickly do everything that they wanted so you weren't in the line of fire. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the so
So
everything fell on me.
yeah. So it's had an impact on the lower back, the nervous system. Okay, so there's guilt sitting in the stomach. Now, don't get me wrong, you've got a lot of beautiful aspects, okay? So we're just trying to help unblock the density today. It's, yeah, so there's some guilt sitting in the stomach. It's all connected. So let's just see here what age we need to go to. He's saying 7, 8, 9. There's guilt. So what's this guilt about? Is it around not performing well in hockey or school or something like that? Can you remember? Is anything dropping in for you?
There was a time that my mother gave me a shirt to get tie-dyed, and because she always wore blue jeans, I tie-dyed the shirt blue and gray because it matched her jeans. And when I got home, there was massive shaming. I was super excited, but then she was attached and expecting a beautiful colored tie-dye shirt, not a dull blue gray tie-dye shirt. So that for me is a strong memory of like disapproval and you did something wrong. That maybe I carry with me because of that. And that happened around that age.
Yeah, he's saying, yeah, that's it. Okay, so now that we've got the knowing and just the acknowledgement of the emotion is really good, that you're bringing it up to the surface, it's coming up to the surface to release and be gone. So in you, there's a program that you have to kind of be a perfectionist now because of that emotional trauma, right? So for the projection and the shame, you're constantly looking around, making sure that everything's done right and professionally. So you're constantly over a second questioning your decision making and your creation. So anything that you create, are you a bit of a perfectionist with it now?
Yes, or I've learned to be okay with things not going correctly.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, so I've learned to deal with it's either things are done correctly or things are done sloppily.
And there's no right or wrong. It's just us humans, in this reality with duality and thinking and conditioned and these programs from the 3D matrix of right and wrong, when nothing's right or wrong. It's all good, right? But we put so much pressure on ourselves, and from our conditioning as a child, all of these programs and negative energy flows are stored. Okay, so these negative energy flows are stored in the subconscious, and they're traveling down through the cells and the vagus nerve into the major organs and creating these messes in the energy centers. So we're going to clear out the sacral because it's having an effect on your solar plexus and your sacral. So creation and personal power and confidence, right? So we want to make sure that's really strong because you're here to be of service to the world. You're here to stand up strong and anchor the light and show people the awakening journey, right? That's why you've come here. So we want to make sure that you're fully ready to go, and we're going to disconnect those old false beliefs. Okay, so the ETs will work on you now, so just lay still and relax. You probably feel a fair bit in your stomach. They're also going to clean out your nervous system by the looks of things. Okay, so there's a new being entering the room and he's coming in. I've seen him before in here, so everything's okay. It's a mantis being and he's got long, like delicate fingers, and he's going to scrape the shame and the guilt out of your stomach. All right, so you might feel this. Okay, so we just need to go a little bit closer emotionally to that little boy. Can you go into that time where you were projected on from your mother with the tie-dye shirt and just go pull him into your heart and tell him that he did a really beautiful job, not to worry, it's all an experience, and that you love him dearly? Can you move closer into that emotion for me, please?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's starting to move more deeply now. Okay, so he's going to give you this density and we're going to transmute it. Because it's so deep and heavy, we're going to transmute it into something positive for yourself. So they're going to hand you this hologram of density in your mind's eye. And you can set an intention for something positive to manifest for yourself, for your family, for the collective or the planet or the universe. And you can let that go to the universe. Okay. So you can go ahead and do that now. Okay, good. All right, so they're going to be using the plasma light to fill up the stomach and rejuvenate the cells that were damaged in the lower abdomen. Okay, and they're balancing the energies in the top of the brain now. So your higher self actually really wanted to be into creativity and expression of like movement and just lots of this creativity, but you were kind of led into a world of analytically thinking, game strategies, and your divine feminine was kind of left behind. But the divine feminine aspect of your brain is very strong, right? So now that we know that, we can put the neurons so they're fired together in like synchronicity, and then we can create the heart-brain coherence on an energetic level. We just need to go into the throat a little bit deeper. Okay, I'm getting the age of 4. It's around a birthday, something around a birthday at 4. It's very young. This is where the seed was planted. Did you want to have a certain birthday party and you weren't allowed, or is anything coming to mind?
Nothing's coming to mind. I mean, I was really young then. I think that when I was 4, I already had 2 or 3 other siblings. And so, I mean, I don't really remember much. I'm trying to think.
Did you get told to be quiet?
I mean, that was pretty common. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're the siblings are younger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is it. So you've been suppressed in the throat. So it's almost like there's so much wisdom that wants to come through for you, but it's being blocked and suppressed because you've got this belief that you have to be quiet. So we're going to delete that program and release this energy in the throat, because it's very gray and dull, and we want it vibrant blue, so you could just speak your truth and stand in your power. And yeah, and you don't have to kind of overcompensate. It's just like very clear cut, if that makes sense. It's like shoo, shoo, shoo.
Yeah. I definitely naturally feel like not talking all the time, but I do talk for my career for the last 20 years. So that's always work, though.
Yeah. Yeah. And you put that character on as well, like when when we're speaking, when we're leading, but when you're in your quiet time, you're naturally just quiet, but there's a balance to that as well, right? Okay, so you might feel some tingling on the throat. They're going into your thyroid gland now. They're cleaning out some stuff in the thyroid. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, so creation wants to come through, he's saying. So there's this creation of brand new life, but it's kind of being blocked by this suppressed little boy. Okay, so can you try and navigate to your little boy just for a moment? Pull up the hologram of him in this timeline. We're just going to talk to him and just express your love and gratitude, and thank the situation and the experience, because without it, we're not going to grow, right? So duality plays. Without the low, we don't have the high. Without the aloneness, we don't have the love and unity. So it all serves a purpose, and that's how we can move into enlightenment, basically, once we've done the full circle of the emotion. So go in and soften and just let that little boy, because he's like quite fragile, he wants to like be this kind of beautiful, expressive little soul, but he's constantly getting projected on and told to be quiet. And it's just because of the siblings in the house, and your parents are unhealed as well. And it's no one's fault. It's just a situation that happens. But I can see that it's blocking wisdom from the high realms that wants to come in.
Okay.
So just try and merge back in with that beautiful little boy. Mm. Just let me know when you feel that's done.
Okay.
Beautiful. So while that was happening, I could see Eskil's telling me that you've actually blocked your ears. There's a gift that you have, which is clairaudience. And because of the projection and all of this kind of life journey, beautiful experiences, but you've kind of naturally just turned off your clairaudient abilities. They're quite strong. So they're just doing some work on your ears. Okay. It's like you've put plugs in your ears energetically to turn off and not hear. And because it was just so overwhelming for you, because you're super delicate, which is beautiful. Okay. So don't get me wrong there, but it's like we want to release some of these blockages in the ears so you can start to attune to higher, like radio stations, basically. So they're just pulling out some plugs out of the ears. And it's also had an impact on your jaw too, these plugs. So we want that nice and loose so it's flowing. Okay, good. Just doing the left side now. All right. Okay, so we're going to bring you down some brand new energy flows now that we've disconnected lower realm energy flow. So the fears, the scare, the worry, all of those lower negative energy flows are from the low realms. Okay, and now we're at a place on as a collective to be able to tap into higher realm energy flows. So they're going to bring in a brand new energy flow for you to help elevate your being even more after this session, and it'll continue to grow. Okay, so into the heart is an energy flow, and I'm hearing the words cherished, loved, and adored. And that's coming from the high realm, collective consciousness. They want you to hear it. It's actually energy and frequency, but they give us words so us humans can feel into the word, if that makes sense, because we're still working out energy and learning about it. So this is a frequency of cherished, loved, and adored. So for the next 48 to 72 hours, just repeat that to yourself to stabilize the energy. It's being imprinted into the heart center now for that beautiful heart-brain coherence.
Okay.
Okay, that's completed. So now they're going to be bringing through another, I can see another one coming in. So this one is from the high realms. It's called knowing. So it's planting into the pineal gland. It's a masculine being. And the reason why they're bringing a masculine one is so you can start to close that gap with trust again, with a masculine high frequency being. So someone that you can trust, you can feel supported from. And it's also like an express line into the high realms of knowing. So for the next 48 to 72 hours, just repeat that. I am knowing, I am knowing. And if you need to understand or know anything, like even a car park or what you need to know about this emotion or that, or whatever happens in your life, you can throw it upstairs to your higher self and the knowing being and say, hey, what do I need to know about this? And the energy should start working with you and dropping in what you need to know. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's going to help you elevate. It's the strongest form of the high realms, the knowing being. I am knowing. And you'll begin to start to feel that energy of support as well. But we just need to create like a relationship with it so it grows and grows and grows, okay? Because it's live energy. Okay, cool. Okay. So they're bringing in truth now too. So it's planting into the throat. It's going to help stimulate that blue light in your throat chakra. Truth. It's a female being. I am truth. It's going to help stabilize the thyroid. Have you been having issues with your thyroid at all?
I don't know.
No? Okay. That's a good thing. If you're not, it just must be energetically showing up right now, which is good because we've captured it with the suppression. So I'm glad that we are opening this up so it doesn't, the density of an emotion will keep impacting our organs or our blood if we don't look at that part of it. Okay, so truth. So you got 3 ones just to remember, and you can say them as a mantra before bed or in meditation and connect. It's the highest point just below the divine, okay? The divine sits up the top and then the high realms, okay? And that's what you're plugging into now, okay? So you're going to take a few probably frequency upgrades for the next couple of months. Okay, let me just scan one more time and see if there's anything else we need to do before we move to the DNA activation. Okay, so he's telling me there's a little bit of sadness within your little boy. Okay, so over the next couple of days, if that arises, just understand that it's the emotion and the energy releasing. If you feel like you need to do some writing around how you felt in your childhood, just go and do that. And just, you can burn it in a ceremony with the full moon or whatever like that. But it's like the body wants to express it somehow. So through movement or writing. Do you normally journal?
No.
Okay, so perhaps just try that because it might get the emotions flowing. And that's the whole point. We're trying to release it. We're trying to move our, light bodies from the dirty vase of water, if you can imagine a dirty brown vase of water, to the clear crystalline vase of water. That's 5D consciousness, okay? So the dirty vase of water is the 4 aspects of self: emotions, mental, spiritual, and physical. So I can see your physical is very, very strong, and your spiritual is coming into it. You're moving up very high as well. The mental aspects are moving out of the head into the heart, which your heart's very open. It's beautiful. Okay, so we have to have 4 aspects of ourself in that vase turned into the crystalline bars of water. So with the emotions, perhaps just try journaling around, yeah, how you felt as a little boy. I can see that there was an aspect of feeling trapped and not free.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we're moving now. So the med bed's going to, you're going to stay in the med bed. It changes frequency, okay? So the lights are going to change color. So just attune yourself to the color of the bed. Just let me know what color's coming through for you.
Like pink.
Yeah, beautiful. You're divine feminine. Okay, so with the DNA comes with us in every physical form and every physical incarnation. Okay, so when we're born, we have 2 strands of DNA activated. And then as we raise our consciousness, we get more and more strands activated. So when we're fully in 5D consciousness, we're going to have about 12 strands activated, to my knowledge right now. So for you, you've got 7.5 strands activated right now, which is very good. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the light to activate more and more of the strands, or prepare you for that integration into activation. Okay, we'll open up the akashic records and see what's reading in the galactic. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so opening the akashic records. Okay, so you've come into this universe and you've gone through the Lyra star system. So you were around in the Lyra wars, it seems. So the Lyra people were feline beings, and they were very benevolent, and they're cat kind of feline being, but also human looking. Okay, so you were on a planet called the Vega planet, and it was like a 5th dimensional frequency. I can see that you had a family there, and for some reason your wife is showing up here as well. So she's come through the Lyra star system with you. You've traveled. I'm hearing that you're twin flames. So you've constantly met up through the galactic, having different incarnations together. And it's always like you will end up finding each other no matter what. It's just the vibration brings you together. So from there, you go to Sirius. So you fled to Sirius B. You went into the Sirian B as a feline being, and then you liked it. So there was wars in the Lyra star system. It looks like you've fled on a ship over to the Sirian star system, okay, to get away, to move out of that civilization because of the war that was happening. So you went into Sirius B, and this is where all of the galactic history and high frequency information is stored in the halls there. So you had a part in that, and you really enjoyed learning more and more about the galactic. But I can see that you did you did end that life, but you came back as a Syrian being. So you've got Syrian in your DNA, and you had different lifetimes there. I can see many lifetimes you really loved being of service. So the beings there, that's what they're built for. They're not going to ascend via a Syrian kind of body, physical body. They're going to be, they're more set genetically for being of service. Okay, so you were working close with the halls again. So I can see you like a concierge or something like that, but you got to meet a lot of the ascended masters through there. So you've got a strong connection with the 12th dimensional teachers from the collective consciousness that we tap into, which is really cool. I'm seeing Isis, Thoth, Osiris, all of the beings from history. Have you heard of those before?
Yes.
Do you feel like close to that, those teachers, or?
I mean, when I come across them in books and other teachings, it all seems normal to me.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
don't have a sense of profound, like I just have like an accepting of these beings.
Mm.
Kind of, yeah, it's I mean, this could explain it, right? Like it almost
Yeah.
just, normal is the word that just comes to me, like,
Mm.
but not normal, like in earthly terms, you know,
Yeah.
but it's how I experience the, like, learning about all of this other stuff. It all just seems normal to me.
Mm. Because it's in you. So I can see in your hologram, there's all things ready for you, but it's just like when they're going to activate when you reach a certain frequency to install the programs from all of your galactic lifetimes, right? So you've gone on your big journey and you're ready for ascension this lifetime. I can see that your soul wants to ascend, but it's going to be on this planet helping people before it ascends and being of service to others to make sure that everyone can kind of move up in frequency and help them. But you've got a lot of wisdom sitting in your hologram, in your aura field. Okay. So yeah, that's awesome. So it's looks like we'll come back down to the earth to see what past lives you had, but it looks like you've worked with a lot of the ascended masters in the Syrian star system, which is really cool. And what's your wife's name, by the way? Because she's here again with you.
My current fiance
Yes. Yeah, sorry, your fiance. Yeah.
goes by Seema.
Right. So she's here again. I can see she's a beautiful spirit. Her soul's showing through strongly. It's like you two have navigated through loads of different star systems and experiences together. But she's also it was almost like she was working in the halls as like you didn't know each other, but then you met again. So you're the concierge, but she's like the cook or like in the kitchen or the back like rooms kind of serving. Oh, sorry. Oh, God. And you're like, hey, and it's like that's where the love and the romance comes through again, which is really interesting. It's really beautiful. Like you said, loving it, dancing together. Mm. Okay, so from there, where do you go next? Let's see. You go to Pleiades next. They're showing me over in the Pleiadian star system. So you've had a lot of incarnations there. Most of your time has been spent in the Pleiades, and then I can see you go over to the Andromedan star system. So Pleiadian, so you go into the Targeta, you spend some time on Targeta, and you really enjoy the Pleiadian physical form. So I can see you had all different roles. There was leadership roles, there was galactic, intergalactic travels like on ships, and I can see one significant lifetime where you were second in command of a ship. There's a commander, and it's almost like there's like a person like Commander Ashtar or someone very significant that you were in second command to. So you were overlooking and of all of the pilots on board. This is a big ship. I can see it's a big ship, and there's all sub-ships down underneath. And it was like a part of the alliance where you would overlook the universe, where to make sure that everyone was working in harmony and there was no issues. It was a very important role that you had, and you had this experience coming. So there's other experiences down on the planet Alcyon. So Alcyon is the father planet. It's a Pleiadian in the cluster of Pleiades. So yeah, so the Alcyon is the father planet. Okay, so you look like you had more of a masculine experience in this one to explore the masculinity within, and really be that. I can see you having different roles in this incarnation, but always males. Like you were the leader of a civilization, but then you were the farmer in another incarnation. You really got to experience every aspect of a male, which is really cool. Okay. They're showing me it's like a, you know, like a king with a stick with a rod, like a royal, you were royalty. So they're showing me some sort of royal leadership role that you had in the Alcyon planet. It's like it's a fifth dimensional role, so it's all in harmony. There was no duality in this planet, but I can see that you were well kind of looked up to. Everyone really respected you because of your integrity and your courage to lead. And it was a really important role, I can see, because it was also working with all of the female planets in the star system, where you were overlooking the shared energy to make sure that everyone in like the ecosystem was sharing their energy and working together. The cores of the planet were conscious, and everyone in the planet system would work together. Okay, there was no separation, but you were like the leader of overlooking all of that, from what I can see, which is pretty profound. And also reading is the Andromedan star system. So I can see that you were working over there and had many incarnations, both male and female. Andromedan beings. Pleiadian, Syrian. You've had connection with the Octarians, but for now, I can't see an incarnation. So that could change as you elevate. But for now, I'm getting a no. But you've had relationships, like you've got friends in the star system and you visit them at nighttime when you go to sleep. So there's a lot happening when you're sleeping. There's emotions that are being released. The mind's out of the way and the soul family is able to work with you, work with your energy, remove any density on a really subtle level. And they're saying to me that you've got free will. So they won't intervene heavily unless you're really requesting and asking for those activations before bed. Okay. But there's some Octarians there that are loosely around you, but they're not moving in close. It's like you were friends with them and learnt a lot from them, but you never were like incarnated with them, let's say. There's a group. So if you feel some energies around you, it's most likely this group that I'm referring to, and those 4 Andromedan beings that are in the room right now. Okay. All right. So we're going to close the book, the Akashic Records. Do you have any other questions for your galactic travels?
No, I don't.
Okay. You've been around, which is cool. They were right with the wise soul, old wise soul call. All right. All right, so we're going to get your light body out now. They're putting a protection around your field. So I can see into your energy centers. They're really starting to become really vibrant, especially the top 4 energy centers in particular. It's like humming along, and I can see your higher self's a little bit excited. It's like excited to have these energies. It's a reminder, and a kind of like they're saying it's like a knocking at the door for you as a person to remember who you are. Have you ever had that thought, like, who am I, or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I was younger.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this gold light's going over your head now. So you might be able to feel this. It's coming directly from source all the way down through the ship's roof in the center of the room. It's just going to fill up your hologram, okay, your being, to support you. Beautiful. Okay, so you look really good. We're going to bring you back down. I have to go through the Stargate, close it, and we'll bring you back down to the planet in this reality, okay? So moving through the Stargate. 3, 2, 1. Closing it and just navigating, flying back down through time and space. So we can see the earth, the blue pearl, Pachamama. We're going to bring your light body down to America. We're going to integrate it back into the physical realm. Navigating down, down, seeing your state now. Moving you through, down through the clouds, down over your house. Laguna. And just seeing that light body now come through your crown, down through your crown, down through your shoulders, landing back through your body, down through the hips, the knees, the feet. Just taking a deep breath to merge yourself back in with yourself. And we'll just give thanks as well. Thank you to the beautiful divine. Thank you so much for your love. Thank you for this beautiful experience in this magical universe. Thank you for looking after us today and helping Ra elevate even further and remind him of who he truly is, an old wise soul back for the mission. And thank you to the Ascended Masters and the Archangels. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being so patient with us while we work it all out. And thank you to the beautiful galactic team aboard the ship today. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for letting us come and use this technology. Thank you for the knowings. Thank you for the blessings. And thank you for helping our brother Ra. And thank you to you, beautiful Ra, for your brave and courageous soul coming back to this earth at this time. Thank you for all that you do, sharing and watering everyone's seed around the world. And yeah, thank you for trusting. And we love you dearly and wish you a beautiful, beautiful journey. Thank you. When you're ready, wiggle your toes. And turn the lights on. How do you feel?
Yeah, that was yeah, I could feel all that.
Pretty crazy, eh?
I mean, I feel really good right now.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it's pretty accurate too. Especially like the right brain thing. And I could definitely feel like work happening on my brains when you were talking about that. And I do feel like a blockage of Kundalini. That's mostly why I don't have any I have no experiences of, I don't have any perception of these other dimensions, other worlds, other beings. I just have like a knowing that they're there, but like I have absolutely zero proof. And I just feel like energy is just stuck and it's not rising up for me to be fully connected as like a conduit of energy. But I still have this like trust that if I don't know, it's hard to explain everything.
I know,
but I definitely feel like there's a little bit of disconnection happening within me that I can't pass over to the other side.
So with that, it's the emotion, and like your soul was split, right? So that's probably why it hasn't eventuated to that next level yet, because when we've got a soul split, we're not whole. So the pain, like, you're so sensitive, it's such a beautiful thing. Like, you want to love it, because once it does turn on, it's like going to be right there. Like, so it's going to be beautiful, but it's just understanding your delicacy, and that little boy just needs some love from you right now. So what I would recommend is just going into meditation, sitting with yourself, and from 1 to 10 years of age, see yourself as a hologram or as that little boy, and go and see if he'll come in for a cuddle. Go to every age, because there'll be things that come up like we just did then. Oh yeah, that's right, that's when this happened and I felt horrible. And you're going to be moving closer and really bringing in that little boy into the heart, because what I saw was the soul was fractured out into the ethers, because it was like, screw this is so overwhelming. And I'm like, because you're so delicate, it's like shook out, right? So that's the part of us moving it back in on the multi-dimensional level. But it's just going to take a little work from you every morning. Sit with that little boy and tell him that you love him and it's okay, and it's just an experience of emotion. Because of your delicacy, we need to really tune into that love for self on a really deep level, especially the little boy. And then once we kind of have done that, we moved from 10 to 20 years of age, because there's so much that happens in that period of our life. You know, we're growing up, we're getting hair, and, you know, we're liking girls, and the rejection, and just all stuff that happens. So we invite you to try and do that once you feel like you've conquered the 1 to 10 years of age. And of course we can do this again, because sometimes it's hard to see it, but when someone can see in, like, it's important for us to always get on the table as practitioners, because there's always something that we'll probably not want to see, you know.
Yeah,
yeah
that makes sense.
It's pretty different. I'm glad that you trusted me and had a go.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy yes.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's definitely different, but it seems like you have support, so that's pretty good, because it's not just you, right?
You mean with
So
Pete or the ETs?
ETs.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard to explain exactly what we do, you know, like, it's like, yeah, I'll just take you to the spaceship and da 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 da. But it's like, until you experience it, you can kind of understand, okay, because we, you know, with a Reiki healer, you do all the Reiki work, but they're not getting deep enough, right? We need to get deep into why there's a negative energy pattern. So once we have a seed that's planted, we're continuously, it'll grow into a weed and a weed. And eventually we get to, you know, 30 or 40, and we've got the worst law of attraction, because we haven't looked at the rejection from mum, or the rejection from father, or the projection and the scared little boy or girl that we were as a child. So it's constantly the universe bringing us that law of attraction to have a look at, okay, this is it, what is this? Is this a lesson or a blessing? Because everything's consciousness coming to help our reality. It's all for us, right? So you've got to be really conscious in being the observer of what's coming into your day, what's coming in, like, why did that just happen? Because what's that triggering in me? You know, like all of that stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff, for the most part, it seems easier to learn as an adult. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
there's those shattered childhood moments that are
Mm.
still kind of running the programs, or the originations of our programs.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, it's great to have sessions like this to pull those moments up
Yeah.
into our awareness, that we can smooth them out.
Mm.
You know, like, so for me, whether I don't really spend energy worrying about, the aliens and is this real, because like the whole thing is multidimensionally valuable. Um So yeah.
Yeah. And it's, really the first level is clearing the emotions, that bars of water. Then the second is that connection, and then realizing that we're not alone, and then going out from there and realizing our DNA's got different species experiences from, our soul traveling. And, this awakening is learning that there's, when there's death, it's a celebration of a renewal of another experience. Like, you're going to go on to another experience, and we've all been programmed, and we've got all these beliefs, it's all the belief systems, really. That's the programming in the subconscious mind that we like have to undo now, right? And so we can be free, because there's no right or wrong. It's just what your belief is. But we've all been plugging into the low realms, which is fear and scared and grief. They're just emotions that have been programmed to keep us in a low vibration, right?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. But yeah, so look, just drink lots of water. Try and do the connecting with that inner child, because once we harness that, you'll get past lives to integrate, and then intergalactic lifetimes to integrate. So we don't have to integrate every single one, but we have to look at the most significant ones, and what those gifts were. So there's the emotion for it. If it's a negative, we have to integrate that. And everyone's different, so you might have really knowings around what your ones are. Like for me, I know exactly what my past lifetimes are, that I had to integrate, and still look at it from another, like, we're still constantly healing, right? But Pete, he doesn't have that, so we're all different again. So you've got to just see what your being is, how to navigate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I hope you liked it.
Yeah, I did. I really like the connection of the traumas, childhood traumas, with the the chakras and the organs, and how energy flows through my body now, because that definitely makes sense, and it's not really something that I thought much of up until now.
Mm. Yeah, and something else that you could do is, like, every organ is listening. It's all consciousness, right? So talking to it, like, talk to the kundalini, talk to the lower back, like, lower back, what's wrong? Why don't you feel safe? Like tell me, show me, what is it? Because I saw the kundalini, it was like scared to go up the back of the spine. And it was like, that root chakra looks like it just is like in freeze mode. So I don't know if that's the response your body consciousness is feeling. Like, does it feel like it freezes your lower back?
When, like, I just injure it a lot if I exercise, and
Mm.
I'm not even exercising. Like, I'm doing, like, if I do something that like a 70-year-old lady would do for exercise, I will injure my back. So I kind of just stick with yoga and healing modalities, and that's actually bringing me more into alignment, I believe. And
Mm.
probably it's working with the energetics of the body. Like, I'm
Mm.
doing stuff for fascia, and
Mm.
that's all transferring light through the body.
Yeah.
And so it's probably unlocking and unblocking patterns that I have within myself.
Yeah, I saw that you do that. So you share the energy from the good parts down to the raw part, is it?
Oh yeah, that as well. But no, I'm learning some techniques from these guys called Human Garage, and they basically have reworked how we think about the body, and it is merging the physical body into an energetic body, and even like astrologically as well. And the way that they talk about the fascia is that it spirals, like the first level is fascia is the bone, and then it spirals out, and then the last spiral is the skin, and the body grows into the fascia, and in between each of these levels of fascia are basically our chakra systems. And so he's connecting every point in the body with our chakras, not just like, the fourth chakras here. He's saying at every point in your body, if there's blockages or a misdistribution of pressure in between your facial centers at every point in your body, that you could be blocking your energetic body. So we want to make sure that everything's balanced. And so doing very simple maneuvers to get that all, I don't even know the word, working properly.
Yeah, that sounds
Really
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. That sounds interesting because sometimes the ETs will put the person into this like pod. It's like a plasma pod and it's like jelly. It looks like jelly to me, like in a big above ground pool. And they say that, they like are getting in on the bone between the flesh before the muscle has grown. And it's like rejuvenating all that attachment parts and inside the bone. And it's like, it's really hard to quite like comprehend what they're doing, but they're maneuvering in with the person's light body. I'm like just standing there watching it, just going, whoa, like trying to relay what they're doing. But that sounds like what you just explained in a human form sounds like what I see sometimes. So that's really interesting. But yeah, there must be something to that. Human garage. I have to look them up. I like that.
Yeah. And you can send them a message and tell them that, drop my name, and they might be interested in comparing notes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because although the ETs, they say they could be walking around and you not know, they don't want to just show up in the skies because it's just going to cause so much stress, right, to people that are just so asleep, right? It'll cause more pain than good right now. But they say that they are helping people that are at the frequency to download information and of intelligence. So I want, like, you just never know that if they're tapping into that higher wisdom. Like for you, you've got all this wisdom sitting around you. So it's like when it goes, it's just going to be like, so it's good that you're connecting the emotions, because that's the part we have to move through to be able to bring this wisdom through. So I'm wondering if you're going to get like channelings from other beings of intelligence as well eventually.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm trying not to be attached to the whole thing.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like there's a hose building of like pressure, and like that's what it feels like inside me. That I'm like preparing my capsule, but it's still empty because there's like just something building, and it's kind of like saying it feels like how you're saying it. Like it feels like a massive flow is like backed up.
And you're right. You got to be like your birthday, and you can't know what the presents are. You just got to wait for your birthday to unravel, and not wreck the surprise. So you've got to be attached to like nothing. It's so funny. Just another conditioning,
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, so nice to meet you. Thank you for doing all the stuff that you do. If your wife wants a session, I'm happy to take her up for free as well for the experience.
Awesome.
If she feels called.
Yeah, I'll talk to her.
Come and
I was thinking
talk to the ETs.
Yeah, I was thinking about her during this, so I'll talk to her for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No worries. See ya. Have a good day.
Bye, Roxy.
Bye. Bye. Bye.